the call to the member for Lyne.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Last week's Queen's Birthdays honours list saw a number of wonderful people recognised for their tireless work in our community. In the Hastings Valley, Associate Professor Kevin Alford was awarded with an Order of Australia Medal, as was Meg McIntyre and Virginia Hunter. In the Manning Valley, Nancy Boyling was awarded an OAM, as well as Chris Dempsey and George Hode. On the Great Lakes, Coomber Park's Felicity Carter received an OAM, and in Vasey, Janet Lambert was awarded an OAM. In Bulwarra Heights, Edward Thorborough also received an OAM. Congratulations to them all. I've known Associate Professor Kevin Alford for over 3 decades. Kevin Alford's exhortation resulted in me leaving a position that I'd been appointed to on Southport at the hospital on the Gold Coast. Instead, Charlotte and I, my wife and a 3-month-old, moved to Port Macquarie, all because Kevin Alford was such a persuasive fellow. Kevin has worked 39 years at the Port Macquarie Base Hospital, and before that the Hastings District Hospital, which was the first hospital I was appointed to as a fully fledged gastroenterologist. But Kevin was a force of nature. He encouraged many other young specialists to move to Port Macquarie. Both Kevin and I became examiners for the College of Physicians with the aim of establishing a training program for registrars at the new Port Macquarie Base Hospital. We're also involved in the setting up of the University of New South Wales Rural Clinical School, which went on to be a full medical school based from Year Dot to Year 6 in Port Macquarie. Kevin has many strings to his bow. He's also been involved in serving the Durry Aboriginal Medical Clinic in Kempsey, as well as being a senior lecturer and then an associate professor at the University of New South Wales. We are both of the same mind that regional medical training will give a better medical graduate and registrars and residents training too, because regular medical things are seen in big country hospitals. It's a perfect training ground. I'd like to also mention Meg McIntyre, who for years has been a wonderful sports-related physio in Port Macquarie. She's been a huge fundraiser for the Great Victorian Bike Ride. She's been a participant in Commonwealth Games as a physio, the Australian women's hockey team, Deputy Director of Physiotherapy Services for the Sydney Olympics, and worked also in the polyclinics there. She's been a physio to the Australian cricket team, as well as Chief Physiotherapy at Port Macquarie Base Hospital. She's been a great advocate for multiple sclerosis, and she has been a huge community educator about that disease and has fought for funds to investigate and research that as well. Nancy Boyling in Wingham has had numerous community roles, Meals on Wheels, the Anglican Parish, the Red Umbrella Project, raising funds for farmers and their families in drought-stricken areas. Virginia Hunter Cox from Warhope has done an amazing thing for children's education and libraries around the local community, and also been a volunteer in the Warhope Show Society, worked for the Drug and Alcohol team as a volunteer, has been part of the Camden Haven Schools Library Network, and also volunteered at the Kempsey Library. Christopher Dempsey from Manning Point was a stalwart for various cricket clubs in Olbar and Rosalie, and also the Manning Junior Cricket Association. Janet Lambert has been so busy down in Vasey, in the Red Cross, in the Rural Fire Service, Meals on Wheels and the Vasey School of Arts, and she had a 50-year-long service medal. Edward Thornborough from Bulwarra Heights did an amazing amount of work to advance the catering career of many peoples and many institutions. Catering is his middle name. He has taught and taught so many institutions how it should be done. Now, I've got to mention my old friend George Hode from Killabark, Mr Garden himself. He has been president of Garden Clubs of Australia, the Killabark Garden Club, and a judge in bonsai and potted plants in the Wingham Show, the Tari Show, a monthly columnist in gardening, owner and host of Winchelsea Gardens in Killabark, and a great friend of Dixter Gardens in UK, and
The honourable member's
amazing
time has
gardening
expired. The question is the motion be agreed.